So my father is not a big fan of horror movies, but here recently he's been on a horror thriller kick. And after seeing the previews for Trap, he was busted on watching it, so that's what we did, and I have some thoughts. The movie is directed by M. Night Shyamalan, a director that honestly might have a 50% hit ratio for me right now. I still get excited whenever his name is attached, don't get me wrong. He's made some of my favorite horror movies like Signs, as well as favorite to quote horror movies like The Happening. What? No! But he's definitely a name with some risks attached, if that makes sense. Anyway, back to Trap. It starts with a seemingly simple premise, but quickly spirals into a rather tense thriller. The plot revolves around Cooper and his daughter Riley attending a pop concert, only to find themselves in the middle of a, well, trap. Shocker, I know. It was set up to catch a serial killer known as the Butcher that cuts people up and leaves them to rest in pieces. The steady buildup of the suspense at the beginning led to me being tensed up, but busting at the edge of my seat. So I want to go over the pacing first because that's gonna make it or break it for a lot of you. The pacing is a strong point for me, but may not be for most. The film moves at a brisk pace, keeping you engaged throughout, but only if you're a fan of situational tension, cat and mouse kinda pacing. There are no dull moments if so, and the tension does build steady. Kind of slow at the beginning, sure, but establishing what it needs to in a way that I didn't mind at all. But my brother, for example, did. He is a big TikTok user. He needs constant immediate gratification and didn't get it here. There's not much physical action, not much violence, especially throughout. It's more of a psychological thriller than a traditional one. Horror in what could happen, horror in claustrophobia, horror in being trapped. The charm is outwitting everyone else, and if that's not something you would enjoy, then no matter how good I may think this film is, it's still more than likely not going to be for you, so please keep that in mind. Another issue many may have is that the music is a huge factor. A lot of scenes take place in an audience in front of a stage, walking around with dancing and music playing and other music related things happening. It's a huge part of the film. If you don't like that in movies, then it may bother you and take attention away from what is being built up as those scenes go on. Shyamalan's direction ensured that for me the story unfolded rather smoothly, with each scene adding to the overall suspense, and I have no real complaints on the camera angles, cinematography, none of that, as far as I can remember anyway. One thing he usually delivers on, even if everything else may go wrong, is his ability to direct. That doesn't change here. Now let's get directly into the characters if you're still around. Cooper, played by Josh Hartnett, is a standout. His performance is nothing short of captivating. His expressions and choices kept me glued to the screen, and even if the argument could be made that he was overly expressive at times, I didn't mind it at all. Rather that than a wooden plank of a person that would leave me bored instead. Homie brings a depth to Cooper that makes him both relatable and yet terrifying, making him my favorite character in the film, and as the trailer may have spoiled for you, he's not the easiest character to make this likable. I won't spoil it though, just in case you're lucky enough to go in blind. I got you. His dynamic with Riley, portrayed by Ariel Donahue, is one of the film's highlights. Their father-daughter relationship grounds the story, keeping a rather human element even as it does reach in terms of believability. Plus, Donahue was honestly stellar in the role, and deserves some recognition for that. If you ever see this, then I'm proud of you, and I cannot wait to see the actress that you eventually become. Riley herself is a well-crafted character. She's not just a damsel in distress, but an active participant in the unfolding drama. The girl's in the middle of every event to some regard, and she doesn't even realize it, making her really easy to sympathize with and want to protect. Her interactions with Cooper are heartfelt and genuine. She cares about her father even beyond herself, even in the moments that should make her happiest. The best parts of those moments is spending them with him. Surprisingly, she was allowed to be a kid for most of the film, not forced to solve any mysteries or confront a lot of evil. A big contrast from The Visit, another M. Night film that I do to genuinely enjoy. Now a bit of a switch up in terms of characters, let's talk about Jamie. This homie brings some much needed humor into the fold. His witty remarks and comedic timing provide a perfect counterbalance to all of the tension. He feels like such a cool guy. His literal presence somehow lightens the mood without undermining the seriousness of the situations at all. It's a hard line to toe, and yet they do it really well here. Get out levels of well. Big props to the actor for being such a small part of the film, but leaving such a big impact. I literally couldn't even imagine it without him. Rachel is another character with little screen time that is well acted too. Her role might not be as prominent as Cooper's or Riley's, but she has a scene that made her paper-thin character feel far more than meets the eye, even if it may be controversial to some people on how all that plays out. Lady Raven, played by Shyamalan's daughter, whose name escapes me, oh, that's my bad, is probably my second favorite character though. As a pop star, she brings a ton of energy to the film. Her performance is both captivating and eerie, complementing the tensions, the emotions, and the plot super well. Almost teared up at one point does she sing. She's got some actual talent beyond her character on screen, which makes a lot of sense since music is her primary thing. But beyond the singing though, she makes some super clever decisions in time-sensitive situations. She becomes a key player in how everything turns out, and it never felt forced at all. I was pleasantly surprised and am going to look into other acting projects involving her based off of this performance alone. Dr. Grant, on the other hand, is a bit of a letdown. Hayley Mills' portrayal feels very underwhelming to me, and the character doesn't get enough screen time to make a significant impact at all. It's not even the actress's fault for the most part, even if I do believe she could have been a bit more expressive in a few situations, but it's mostly how she was utilized. I don't know if she's normally a better actress, as I haven't seen her in a film for a very long time, but he or she just wasn't it for me. It's a shame too, because there's potential there that goes untapped. More development and screen time could have made Dr. Grant a standout character, given us an L versus light kind of dynamic. Instead, she was just kinda there, and I don't even know if it would have changed much to never actually see her on screen. Just disappointing. L. As I said earlier, I have no real problems with how everything was shot, but I kinda wanna point out some related-ish things that I particularly liked. The special effects and cinematography are top-notch. The concert scenes were stunning, capturing the chaotic energy of a live performance, with the fans that reminded me of Swifties at a Taylor Swift concert. The use of lighting and sound enhances the atmosphere, making the audience feel like they're right there in the middle of the action, even as they are oblivious to it all, which really helped me feel like I was there too, you know? A part of the crowd, a part of the story. When it comes to scares, Trap delivers in its own way. The film doesn't rely on cheap jump scares, but it does build a sense of dread throughout its story that, when keeping cheeks clenched, feels scary in a way that's hard to explain. A fear of the unknown or of the unpredictability really drives the horror home. The tension is crazy sometimes, and there are moments that will genuinely make you hold your breath. I felt my heart drop a couple of times, both due to my own expectations and the fear that comes with a sudden silence. Trying hard not to spoil anything, I swear. Beyond the thrills, the humor, as mentioned earlier, is still worth mentioning. It feels so doggone natural, and Jamie's character gets a spotlight yet again for being such a good change of pace that doesn't feel like it's breaking the flow. Someone give this man some more roles, please. Believability is always a tricky aspect in thrillers, especially those that take place under unbelievable circumstances. Trap manages to strike a balance, grounding its more, what's the word I'm looking for, outlandish moments by having strong character development and a pretty well crafted plot. The characters' reactions and decisions feel authentic, making it easier to suspend disbelief, which you do gotta do a few times, I have to admit. Nothing too immersion breaking for me though. So yeah, Trap was a fun ride from start to finish. The strong performances elevate the film and are the cogs that keep it all working together. The dynamic dynamic between Cooper and Riley is a highlight, and the supporting characters add depth and even humor. Jamie, hint hint nudge nudge, and while there are some underwhelming aspects like Dr. Grant's character, the film's pacing, direction, and overall execution still make it far above average for me. I really liked it, I don't know what else to say. If you're a fan of Shyamalan's work or just love a good thriller, Trap is definitely worth your time. Just keep what I said near the beginning into consideration as you decide. For more news, reviews, and whatever we choose, stay tuned to Nerdsfeed. Have a great day, thank you.